Now this question says y is directly proportional to x. When x is 500, y is 10. Find the formula for y in terms of x. Then the next one says calculate the value of y when x is 350. Now this takes us to a topic I titled direct and indirect proportion. What's a direct proportion? Okay, a direct proportion is a relationship is a positive relationship between two quantities. Positive relationship between two quantities, in that when one is increasing, the other is increasing too. And when one is decreasing, the other is decreasing. Now it's just a positive relationship or a symbiotic relationship between two different quantities. When one is increasing, okay, the other one will be increasing too, and when one is decreasing, the other one will be decreasing. That's just what you call direct proportion. Okay, now for example, in the question that we're told that y is directly proportional, this is a symbol for proportion. Okay, it's directly proportional to x. Okay, and we're told that y is directly proportional to x. There's a constant k that we want to introduce into this equation, and make it an equation. Now if y is directly proportional to x, then y will be equal to kx, while k is a constant of proportionality. Why k is a constant of proportionality. Okay, now to find this k, that's kx equal to y. For k, we have y over x. Okay, now that's why we're given a first value, and they said when x is 500, y is 10. So we're given this, so we'll use it to calculate k. Okay, now k here will now be y over x. That's 10 over 500. That's 1 over 50. Okay, so now the formula that is guiding this relationship of y and x is going to be y equal to 1 over 50x. You just replace the value of k here. Now let me take it all over again. Y is directly proportional to x. Okay, now we have to introduce an equal to sign here to be able to make it an equation. And to do that, we have to introduce a constant k, which we call constant of proportionality. So y equal to kx. Okay, now kx equal to y, that means k will now be y over x. Okay, and they gave us two values first, that x is 500. That's in our example. X is 500 and y is 10. So to find k, you just substitute the value of y, that's 10, over value of x, 500. You have 1 over 50. Now our formula guiding this relationship of y and x will now be y equal to 1 over 50x. Now the second question we were asked was calculate y when x is 350. What is y when x is 350? Now with this formula we have now, we can be able to do that, because you can say y equal to 350 times 1 over 50. This cancels this, 7. So y will be 7. So y is 7 when x is 350. Okay, now for inverse proportionality, for this one now, y is inversely proportional to 1 over x. For inverse is once y is increasing, x is reducing. If x is increasing, y will be reducing, just like that. This one is increasing, this one will be reducing. If this one is reducing, this one will be increasing. So it's not, is both of them are not in symbiotic relationship. Okay, they are not in a positive relationship, it's a negative relationship. This is increasing, this is reducing, this is increasing, this is reducing, just like that. Now the same way we did for direct proportion. For inverse proportion, we have to introduce a constant, okay, so that we can be able to get a formula. Now for constant, now we have y equal to k over x, okay, while where k is inverse proportionality constant or constant of inverse proportionality, anyone you want to call it. Now that's your k. Now if peradventure y is 10 and x is 50, okay, now your k is going to be xy. Your k will now be 50 times 10, that is 500, and then the formula for this relationship will now be y equal to 500 over x. So whenever they give you a value of y and ask you to find the value of x, you can easily substitute and do it. If you're also given value of x and asked to find value of y, you can also substitute and do it. So that is what inverse proportionality is all about. If you're given y as 20 and you're asked to find x, you just go straight and do 20 equal to 500 over x. That means 20x will be 500 and x will be 500 over 20, which is 25. Okay, now if you're giving x as 10 and you're asked to find y, you just easily go to this formula and now write y equal to 500 over 10, that is 50. Now for all this constant and inverse proportionality, the formula differs. Okay, it depends on what we're given for you to find the k. Okay, if you're given other values, now maybe 50 here, 20 here, the k changes value. Okay, so it's not constant. You won't just say okay, the formula at all times is y equal to 500 over x for inverse of proportionality. No, it changes. It depends on the values you're given for y and x per time. Now that's how we solve inverse and direct proportionality.